afternoon, good morning, good evening, wherever you are. We are so excited to be here, and we are your one stop shop for all of your advertising needs. Today, we have an exciting interview. Like, I'm so excited about this interview. We have an actor. Sidney is going to tell us all about who he is, and we're going to hear about his journey. So, you guys, if you're out there, please leave your comments below, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and follow us. Sidney, go ahead and tell everyone who you are and what you do.
My name is Sidney Ginyard. I'm from Long Beach, California. I act, I sing. I'm just an all around entertaining guy. So I do. I ain't gonna say I do it all, but I can do quite a bit.
Yeah, that's a lot. That's a lot. Well, welcome, Cindy. Thank you so much for your time today and allowing us to interview you and get your story out there and also have you a part of the magazine. We're excited about that as well. So, Cindy, let's
Yes.
go ahead and talk about your journey to being an actor. Um, let's talk about growing up. How was it growing up? Where are you from? What was life like before acting?
Growing up was good. I grew up in my grandmother and grandfather's house, along with my mother. Yeah, I had a good childhood. I did the norm. I would sing, dance around the house. Got into sports. I really got to enjoy my childhood. I loved basketball growing up. I learned to love singing.
That's
um,
something learned.
yeah. And I dance. Always was dancing around the house growing up. So yeah, pretty much I'm a fun guy. I like to joke around, and some might think I play too much, but hey, that's me.
Hey, life is full of fun, right? It's what you make it. So it's all
There it
good.
is.
It's all good. Wow, women helping other women learn, grow, and empower. Learn new things, grow from what you learn, empower others to do the same. You talk about acting and you got to enjoy your childhood. I know for children in acting, sometimes we hear that, they missed out on their childhood and sometimes are
Mm,
not able to really grow up because of that. What do you
yeah.
say about child acting now that you're in the business? How do you look at child acting from your point of view?
Well, from my point of view, I mean, it just depends on if the child wants to do it. You know, um, my mom, the one thing that she pushed me to do was to sing in the choir. And that's why I said I had to learn to love singing, because she was sitting, you go off on and go to a rehearsal on Saturdays and you be there for 2 hours so I can, mainly so you can have free time now, just so I can, she wanted me to be in church.
Yeah.
And, that was one connection that was real good. So as acting, I mean, I see younger kids acting, and it seems like it's gotten a lot better, because it
Hmm.
seems like the kids want to do it, rather than it being forced. Because
Right.
it's like, even with my daughter, she's 10 years old. She, I know she would be a good actor, but that's not her cup. So we have to find where she wants to fit in this realm. So there it is. So I mean, my biggest thing is, as long as they love it and the parents aren't forcing them to do it, it's positive, it's plus, and you can see it on screen. You can see it within their walk, because we see what happens when they get forced into it. We've seen so many time and time again.
Right. And that's with anything. I think like with sports, I think sometimes fathers push their sons into being in sports. Like that's their dream. It's not their child's dream. How did it come about that you said, okay, acting is what I'm going to do, is what I want to do? You said that you got into sports, you had a really good life, you had your childhood, but where did acting come in to where you got really serious about it?
So honestly, I didn't get serious about it until about 3 years ago.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So and I wanted, because you were talking about forcing, I wanted to put in that I did bribe my son to play football, but I 19, well, I'll say at 19, basketball, 19, no, not basketball wasn't over yet at 19, but it was close to being over. But
Right.
at 19, the one person that actually brought me into acting at 33 was the same person that brought me into acting for a church play at 19.
Oh,
So
wow.
I did it church for church purposes, Um, I did enjoy, because I noticed how I gravitated to the script and just memorization. I like memory type of trivia type of things like that. So jumping into the script made me be like, oh man, one thing I wanted to make sure I was there. As soon as I got there, I knew my lines.
Right.
You know, then we can work on the mannerisms and everything else that comes along with it. But I didn't fall in love with it, but I did enjoy it.
Right.
So from 19 to, like I said, to 33, I didn't do any acting. It was just, yeah, it was mainly from in between that time. It was trying to continue basketball, realizing that ain't it.
Yeah.
Then from 21 to 33, it was pretty much karaoke, just having fun with that.
Okay.
Oh yeah, just acting a fool in bars. But yeah. And then at 33, I started to do become a Sunday school teacher. And this was the same year that my father passed. So I was in a limbo of life. But my one of the Sunday school teachers, she was Sharon Judy, who I've known since in the womb. The same, like I said, the same person that asked me to do the play at 19. She said, "Hey, Sidney, I want you to come out and audition for these two roles." So I was like, "All right, I got you." You ask, I jump. No, just like, but she was like, "Yeah, come on out to this rehearsal." Now, mind you, it's Hollywood. You go out to Hollywood. Yeah, I can't stand going. I ain't gonna lie, I can't stand going out there. That traffic is ugly. Yeah. But we get out there, and I'm sitting there in a rehearsal, and I'm watching other people, maneuver and do their thing. And I can see how serious they're taking. Like, this is their livelihood. This is what they do. Like, they eat, sleep, acting. So I'm in the rehearsal, and I end up getting a role of a stripper / officer for the play. And it was a church play, so it was church based, but it was at the same time it still had secular. Yeah. But it was real life, it was things that really occurred. So she had me do that role, and from there it was just like, I love it. And hey, anybody asks me to do something, most likely I'm gonna jump on it. Yeah. So yeah.
So was that your first? So that's your first role. Was that the first paid role?
Yes, that was my first paid role.
Okay.
Definitely was my first paid role. I wasn't expecting to get paid.
Right.
It was one of those things where Sharon asked me to do something. I'm just like, hey, I'm enjoying it. Let's do it. But then at the end, when the run was over for that weekend, and I get an envelope, it's like, oh, you can get paid for this. I thought Denzel and them was the only ones getting paid for this, right. But I'll definitely I'll take a blessing, a donation, a gift, whatever it is. I'll take it. So from there, it was, like I said, it was a snowball effect.
So a lot of actresses or actors that I speak with, they take acting classes. They go to these amazing, school of arts. And, I haven't heard that from you yet. It's just like you jumped back in and, you were able to pull it off. How is that true?
I went to 3 art schools. One is called Life. The other was in high school. It was funny because my high school teacher, she always be like, you need to go out and just do this, that, and the third. I want you to come out. And I'm like, I'm just keep bouncing this ball. I'm good,
Yeah.
I'm just keep playing basketball. I ain't got time for that. And then the same thing when I went to LA Harbor College. The teacher was like, oh yeah, you should go ahead. And I'm like, no, I'm gonna keep trying to bounce this ball. But it's just how God works. You think you got a plane, a path. You think you got your plan and you got your waves and everything of how you gonna get to shore. And then it's like, nah, play it ain't this way. You don't even know what I got stored for you. So
right.
He knew what was going on. He knew where I was going to be at.
He places us exactly where we're supposed to be. And you're right. There are things that we plan for our lives and we said, this is what we're going to do. This is what I love. And God is saying, I didn't tell you to do that. That is not the direction I have you going. And you end up doing something else and you're great at it. Right. And it's I believe it's all his plan. Anything that we do is God's
Hmm.
plan, and where I am is where I'm supposed to be. And that's it.
Exactly.
So moving on, what other roles have you done outside of that? So that was your first one when you got paid your first paycheck. What happens in between then
Yeah.
and now?
So with that, um, I shout out to Rider for Life Films, who I've been a part of the family since like jump. Um, After that, one of my buddies, he came to the play, he came to watch the play, but
Mhm.
then he had a short film that he was writing. And he said, "Hey, Sid, I want you to be this pastor in this role. I want you to be this pastor in this film, in a short film called Course of the Just."
Uh-huh.
So I immediately said, "Hey, I'm in. Let's go." You know, this is one of my boys. You know, as somebody I've known when before he asked me. So mind you, I've known him since 2009, and he asked me this in 17. Now
Uh-huh.
we've done little things prior, so he it wasn't so much it didn't it didn't get as far as it should have, and it's still in God's hands. So
Right.
if it happens, it happens. But we did like a backyard thing where I played Eddie Levert.
Oh.
Um, yeah. So with that,
Oh.
um, he saw something in me. So when he asked me to play the role of the pastor, it was like I'm in. You
Mhm.
know. So I've done that. In between those two, because they were like back to back. Like it was like Misleading Lady 2, November,
Uh-huh.
um, Course of the Just December. But in between that time, someone asked me to do something for church. Um, then it was like I said, people came to see the play, you
Mhm.
know, Black Hollywood as they call it. They
Mhm.
came to see Misleading Lady 2, and then they asked me to do the director. She asked me to be in her play, Blended Blood, where I played a officer, I played a doctor and a John at the same time.
Oh, wow.
Uh, Funny thing about that is nobody knew that I played all three roles. So at the end, they were asking me, "What did I do?" And when I told them, they was like, "What? Huh? Yeah, okay."
Yeah.
Um, I mean, short films I've done. It's a short film called. I'm sorry, The Council. I'm sorry, it's a feature called The Council. I was in.
Uh-huh.
That's one of the ones that was like when I seen it, it was like this is wild. I had a short part, didn't even have a speaking role,
Mm.
but the film was so powerful. So it was another thing that gravitated me to want to take this more serious.
Women helping others with the gifts that they have. Contact Crystal Ifakoya, the founder and creator of WOW. Why not?
Oh, I got Get Out of Your Own Way, where I played a thug that got out of jail, came to serve havoc, you know, to the
Yeah.
block.
You went from a preacher to a thug to a, and so I think that's part of being an actor. You got to do it all. You got to make yourself cry. You got to laugh. You got to switch up. You got to do all kind of things. So how do you make yourself cry?
Yeah,
How do you do that?
I ain't there yet.
You haven't done it yet? I'm like, how in the world do they do that? Like, do I have to sit and think about something sad, or do you
Oh my
camera off of
goodness.
me and let me put some eye drops in? What happens?
They're gonna have to put eye drops for a while till I master that because um I tried it. I tried it on my own.
It didn't work?
So I just need to take a class. Maybe somebody can show me where I'm digging wrong or whatever the case may be. But I have, and the reason it's one thing that in life that really used to make me cry was I used to think about my Aunt Molly
Mm-hmm.
because how instrumental she was to my life.
Yeah.
And that was like one of the first times I really cried, like outside of maybe getting injured or something as a kid or something, but just that feel, it's different feelings when you get popped in the mouth and you cry or something.
Yeah.
I haven't had to do it. Now it's funny because when I'm praising and worshiping in church,
Oh,
can
yeah.
do it, but and I'm not saying it, not acting, not making it happen, but
No, no, no,
just
yeah.
it comes.
Yeah.
But I just can't. I haven't gotten to the point where I've mastered that art yet. I pray to God I do. And I was having that conversation with a group of people just about 2 weeks ago about that. So
Yeah.
one of these days.
Yeah. I'm just curious about how doing. I think I could make myself cry if they was gonna pay me. If I could, you want me to come on and make myself cry? I'll make myself cry some kind of way. Let's talk about the business because I talk to a lot of actors and actresses, entertainers, and I hear a lot of grimy things that go on, just saying in the entertainment business altogether. What has your experience been in the
Up
background?
and up and down. You know, some contracts I've signed, I know I'm not getting paid. Some contracts I've signed, I'm supposed to get paid. But I tell people all the time, I act for God. I don't act for nothing else. I mean, it's my time, my worth. Yes,
Yeah.
I would love to be able to get paid for certain things. I wish I could quit my 9 to 5 right now and just be
Right.
like, you know what? Let me walk on this water. But I've signed contracts where I didn't get paid. The main thing I could say on that is I know that in my heart, if those individuals could pay, I'm
Mm-hmm.
sure they would. I know God is gonna bless me somewhere else. So
Yeah.
for every check that I didn't get that I signed for, I know He's gonna bless me somewhere else in life. So
Right.
I
Keep it.
don't I don't ponder on it or blast it out or nothing because
It
I
is.
mean some they say a closed mouth don't get fed, but sometimes it does.
Yeah, sometimes you got to be quiet and just wait on God. But
Mhm.
just like with building a business, sometimes you're going to be spending money. You're not going to be making any money, right? You're going to have to go
Exactly.
through that point to get really where you want to be. You're going to have to go through a point or a time where you're doing it to develop your craft and get better at
Yeah,
your
yeah.
craft. So if you give me this part, I'll
Exactly.
take this part just to give me experience or whatever. So you're right.
Mhm.
Keep planting good seeds because I feel like when you put out good, good comes back to you tenfold. So I believe that.
Exactly.
So let's talk about Deception Streets. Am I saying it right? Yeah.
Yes, Deception Street. It's funny because it was at first Deception of the Streets. So
Oh,
when you said it,
yeah.
that's what it was titled at first. But she cut it out. She cut it out the conjunctions and all that stuff. So it's just Deception Streets now.
So tell me, how did you make the connection to get the leading part? How did that come about?
so so I met Drea through my sister Janicia Adams Ginyard, um, who I've also had the pleasure of being in play Black Love Connection.
Yeah.
But I met Drea through my sister at one of her functions. And Drea adapted to me, and we conversed about. She was like, "Yeah, I'm a fashion designer and all this and everything." She doing everything like her. She got
Yeah.
her foot, hands, pinky, feet everywhere
Yes, she
that she
does.
can. So, just building that friendship like that. She asked, she was like, "Oh yeah, I'm doing this film, Deception of the Streets, and I want you to be the lead." David Charles, go ahead and read this. Check this out. So I was like, all right, I got you. And then sure enough, jumped on set, and there's the magic. I will say that I've been blessed with saying that she asked me. God has blessed me not to have to audition for every role I've gotten.
Yeah.
I don't care for self tapes and all that stuff,
Yeah.
but I'll do it.
Yeah.
I did my first actual self tape audition last week.
Tell me about it. How did it pan out? I mean, what was it about? Tell us, the audience, a little bit about what that was about.
That is based on true events.
Okay, yes.
Um,
You're saying that.
and if everybody would go to Deception Streets on Instagram, Facebook, you can see and get a tad bit of what it's about. So I know that it's still in festivals.
Yeah.
And I don't know how much I can say, but
Right.
I play the character of David Charles. Like when you look at the films and look at the snippets that's out there, you can see that I'm using a weapon. I don't want to kill that.
Yeah. Oh
That's
no.
like the best part,
Yeah.
So
And
you know,
where can the people go see it when it's ready, or is it ready?
she hasn't even told me where we'll be able to see it. Like I said, she is putting updates
Yeah.
on Instagram and on Facebook. So if you go follow Deception Streets, you'll be able to find out once it's finally, available.
Right. How do you get connected and they say, okay, I'm going to send you this so you can audition for this role? Or you can create your, whatever you're going to do for the role. How do you get connected to someone like that?
So I have LA Casting. And like I said, I had my first audition last week. I submitted for a role, which is funny because I was submitting a role because I liked what the description of the role was.
Right.
It was actually for Writer for Life Films. who I've been working with. But I didn't see that part. I didn't see that part when I was filling it out. So I got an email. When I got the email, the first thing popped in my head was like, all right, what we working on now? I'm all pumped up, like, all right, what's going on? But then it said you have an audition. I was like, oh, this is my first time auditioning for Writer for Life.
Yeah.
So it was a blessing because it was my first self audition ever. So it showed me that I can do it. Because at first it's like, man, I'm not all savvy with all this camera and setting this up, but I did it. I got pointers from a friend. It was like, oh, you might want to cut it or whatever the case may be. So, I mean, it's just one of those things where you place it in front of yourself, you get to work and ship it to them, and they'll decide if they like your energy, your character, or whatever the case may be.
Whenever you are on set, when you're on the set, where do you, like, are the cameras just set up everywhere around you? Is somebody following you with the camera? How do you know which camera to look in? So is that what a director helps you do? How does that work?
For me personally, I think of two. I had one directly working with me or working with whoever is on that scene.
Right.
Then they had one off to the side to catch a different view.
Right. Okay.
So they could select which view they wanted to go with. Right. That's the type I've been on so far.
Okay. So whenever you mess up on a part, they say cut and you just start over?
Some do. You know, sometimes people will say keep rolling.
Yeah.
It just depends on the moment.
Okay.
If it's something where they need to just stop, like, all right, let's give some pointers, or the lighting is off, or the angle is off, or someone messes up, or whatever the case may be, sometimes they'll stop it completely, or they'll just say, camera rolling, keep rolling, and they'll give a pointer where they can edit something simple, something not too much to the point where they got to go cut a lot of camera time off. So yeah, it just depends.
Well, good. This is all good information. I can't wait to see Deception Streets, right? Deception Streets. See, I get it mixed up.
Yes.
Initially, she did tell me Deception of the Streets, but anyway, I wish you all the luck. I can't wait to see you grow. Keep putting good energy out there and you'll get it back. Plant good seeds, you'll get it back. And I just wish you the best. You guys, we will be following you definitely to see your growth. So go ahead and before we get out of here, tell people where they can find you on your social media contact.
Yeah. I keep it simple. Instagram, Sidney Ginyard. Facebook, it might be Sidney George Ginyard, but it's Sidney Ginyard. Twitter should be the same. Email sidthesquid33@hotmail.com. Anyway, if you got content or got something for me, just go ahead and send it out. I'm here. You know, that's pretty much me.
Right.
I don't take it lightly because
thank you.
God give you a chance to be able to meet people and get to know new people is a blessing.
We're here for everybody, including inclusion and diversity. And wherever we can help and wherever we can give a platform to boost, that's what we're here for. So good luck to you. Thank you for being here. You guys, thank you for tuning into the interview. Again, leave your comments, check Sidney out. You can find him anywhere on social media. And if you have any content, any scripts, anything you want him to take a look at, shoot him an email or hit him up in his DM and Instagram. You guys, we're going to get out of here for now. But in the meantime, respect yourself and respect each other. I'm out.